Hello friends, as we have committed that we will come up with the next topic which have the significance in the examination. So let's begin with the topic Gorkhaland. So this topic we will be having the comprehensive analysis from why this problem has been arised again and again, and what are the aspects, what are the things they actually demand, and what are the aspiration of their people. So let's begin with Gorkhaland here. So Gorkhaland, basically the geographically it is located to Darjeeling and nearby areas. So Darjeeling, you can see in the map, it is the topmost area of the West Bengal. Okay, so it's strategically located because on the west side there is Nepal border. On this side there is Bhutan border, and the above of this there is a Sikkim. So already Doklam issue is there with the Sikkim border. So this whole area is the matter of the concern for whole of the India. Okay, so this you can see that this one is the Darjeeling district. Okay, so uh, these are the areas of the foothills of the Himalayas. Okay, can you see this? So these Gorkha people were in news, and from where they have come and from where they have natively inhabitant. So why this was in the news? These are the concern because the last 2 months, about 2 months, it's completely shut down. No activities is working there. No economical activities there. So no tourist on every the tea industry is seriously suffering. So another matter of concern is that the toy train, which has got its World Heritage status so the World Heritage Committee has said that they are very much concerned about the toy train. So they might have reviewed this status after 3 months. So that was the area of the concern. So what are the immediate concern and the immediate reason and the long-term reason of the Gorkhaland demand? So immediate reason was that the Bengali language have been introduced and it has been made mandatory till the class 9th of the state government. ठीक है, तो बंगाली को उन्होंने कंपलसरी करने की कोशिश किया क्लास 9 तक. सो they found it is the threat to their identity because they are basically the Nepali means the Nepali native language people. They are not Nepali but Nepali native language people. So this is the threat to their identity because the language, every people take the language like they have the cultural identity fabricated within it. Okay, so long term, what's the issue? The long term issue is that the GTA that has been provided on 2012, the Gorkhaland Territorial Administration. So they have certain problem in functioning. So what kind of problem we'll see later on, but they were blaming or claiming, whatever you can say, that there are huge interference by the Bengal government in their administration, and as well as they are not devolving sufficient financial resources to them. So that is the major area of the concern. Everywhere, whenever you will find the Telangana issue, Vidarbha issue, the issue is somewhere this the financial resources which has not been everywhere and it has not been properly distributed. The same thing is happening here also. So they have, what are the economical resources they have? You can say that tourist, yeah, so tourism industries is very well they might have generating revenues majorly from the tourist, but tea gardens are also there, but they are suffering from some of the economical crunches. So let's know about something. Gorkhas, they are the indigenous people, you know, particularly at the Himalayan belt and the northeastern states of the India. On which states they have spread? J&K, Himachal, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Darjeeling, Assam, and other states of the northeast. Okay, so what are the Gorkhaland they are proposing? Okay, It's not the Gorkhaland territorial GTA. Okay, so this one is the Darjeeling district. You can see here there is a Nepal, there is a Bhutan. Okay, so these are the Duars areas. They are claiming it to be their Gorkhaland. This should be Gorkhaland, they are asking. And they are the Nepali speaking people, we have already said. They have distinct culture and ethnicity and the language, and this is hardly any connection with the Bengali community. Okay, so Gorkhaland was basically completely different in its ethos, culture, socio-economic fabric. So that's why they are demanding this kind of the land. Okay, so first time this term has been coined by Subhash Ghise. He was the leader of the Gorkha National Liberation Front. So GNLF was, which was earlier demanding this Gorkhaland. Later on, you'll find there is a GGM headed by Bimal Gurung. Okay, so we'll see. So historical factors, what was the involving this Gorkhaland? So in 1780s, what has happened that Gorkha had occupied all these areas: Darjeeling, Siliguri, Shimla, Nainital, Garhwal areas, and Kumaon Hills. Okay, from Tista. Okay, Tista, you can find that this one is a Tista, and the Satluj just it's the Satluj river is going through Punjab. Okay, so from Tista to Satluj. Okay, these whole the areas were occupied by Gorkhas in 1780s, but within after 35 years they had to sign Treaty of Sigoli just because of there was the Anglo-Nepal War and they had been defeated by Britishers. So in 1907, the first time the demand of the Gorkhaland was submitted to Parliamentary Reforms Panel. So it has you might have been knowing very well about the Parliamentary Reforms in which has published its reports on 1909. So later on the several occasions they have demanded the Gorkhaland to British government, to independent India, but two mass movements were there which has changed its face. Those are 1980s and 2007. So why separate Gorkhaland they had been demanding? We have already discussed some of the point. So this is the evolution. Okay, so particularly Indian Gorkha identity they are aspiring for. So because of that mass movement on 1980s, okay, this one has been produced, the Darjeeling Gorkha Hill Council in 1988, and because of the mass movement and 2012, that was GTA. Okay, so both has been failed to fulfill the aspiration. That's why there is the major hue and cry. So what's the major factor? Relative economic deprivation, and also they alleged that maltreatment from Bengalis and lack of voice in the Kolkata. So what about the DGHC? So in 1988, a tripartite agreement was there between Government of India, Government of West Bengal and Gorkha National Liberation Front, which had been headed by Subhash Ghise. Okay, the Autonomous Hill Council was created through the State Act. West Bengal government has passed an act. Through that, this council has been created. So 3 subdivisions of the Darjeeling within which and few mozas of the Siliguri subdivision has been created and within the DGHC. So what is this moza? Please comment on the comment section. What is the meaning of this mozas? So what were the problem with the DGHC? First problem is that the executive power was the limited. Second power is that there is complete absence of the legislative powers. So you can find that because of this legislative power of the West Bengal government, only they were able to impose the Bengali as the third language, right? So the non-inclusion of the Duas region, which they were expecting to be their part, this has not been included in DGHC. Another thing is that the major areas, only 19 function areas, they have been given the autonomy. So ultimately they have failed to cater the aspiration of the Gorkhas. Now what's the solution? Next mass movement, then the child of this one is the GTA, Gorkhaland Territorial Administration. So again tripartite agreement, Government of India, West Bengal, and this there the GGM is there. So this was headed by Bimal Gurung. Okay, so GNLF, because they found, the Gorkhas found that GNLF has failed to cater the demand, that's why this new party had come up. So it replaced the Darjeeling Gorkha Hills Council. So it is also the semi-autonomous administrative body, but again there is no legislative power. So what's the difference then? There is the difference in the 59 departments. They have been given the autonomy, and within that education and agriculture is also there. Okay, so basically 3 subdivisions were there: Darjeeling, Kurseong, and Mirik. Okay, and some areas of the Siliguri which was already there, but no Duar's region is there. So what were the problems? Again the same problem is that no legislative power. Duar again has been left out, and because of that, because of their demand, Gorkha majority areas had been searched by a committee, that what are the areas which could be included in these things. So that was the ongoing process. And miscellaneous information, one should know that the 8th schedule of the constitution lists Nepali as the official language of the Darjeeling district as well as the Sikkim. So you can find that official language status is already there for a district here, and there is and Sikkim. So which means that Nepali has not any kind of threat with that, because already they have been working all the official tasks through this Nepali language itself. So why they had the insecurity? The insecurity was because of that Gorkha inhabitants actually were trying to willingly acquire the Bengali to facilitate the transactions between the state as well as their people. So already they have voluntarily acquiring this kind of things, but imposing Bengali in the Darjeeling and Kalimpong district, as this has angered their the Gorkhas, and they found it to the threat of their autonomy and the culture. So that's why the insecurity which has been created through this act, which has created the problem, right? So what are the way forwards? So what are the solutions which can be provided to? First thing is that a good level of the power sharing, particularly the power sharing means the financially it should be viable. But so financial viability is the major concern for every state, every demand of the state, whether it is Telangana, it is Vidarbha or anywhere. Okay, so they have the only 2 resources, tourism and the tea industry. So tea industry is also already suffering from the financial crisis. So if you are sharing good level of the power, this should be made accountable also. So this might be a good arrangement before the bifurcation. Bifurcation is the final step of the creating Gorkhaland, but this can be worked out. So another thing is that a sensitive approach is required, particularly like imposing Bengali. This kind of approach should not be there. They should be sensitive to their culture and ethos. Okay, the economic development of this region, like hospitals, schools, public services, should be provided, so that they should not be feel that all the things has been provided in Kolkata and the West Bengal area only. Means West Bengal, particularly the Kolkata surrounding area only. So they should also have been taken care of the employment issues and the education issues. This should be taken care by the West Bengal government. So what are the possible solutions? We have the Article 244A already there. So it provides for the autonomic state, particularly in the tribal areas. So already this kind of provision is there. This can be extended through an amendment to the West Bengals also, or we can have a completely new chapter under part 6 as the Gorkhaland. So this can be the constitutional arrangement for the autonomous state of the Gorkhaland, and surely they should be provided the legislation capability, because the main issue and the insecurity issue will only be taken care by the if they have been provided with the legislation power. Okay, so what's the significance of this topic? Ultimately we have to write it in the examination. So GS1, regionalism is the topic, that's why we have covered this topic. GS2, devolution of the power and finance to the local levels. GS3, there is a topic that linkages between the development and spread of the extremism. That's why we have taken this topic, right? Okay, thank you. We'll come up with the more such kind of topics. Okay, see you later. Bye.